Alright, everybody, welcome to the second episode of our bike packing trip for the summer of 2021. So originally I had planned to go to Detroit and Chicago with this bike here. And the plan is still to use this bike, but instead of going to Detroit and Chicago, we're going to be going to the Straits of Mackinac. There's a couple different reasons for this, but altogether it's just going to be a less populated route. Finding camping spots and places to stay at night will be a lot easier, and I'll hopefully be in a lot less trouble. I'm trying to specifically avoid getting stopped by people who want things from me. The route I had planned to take to get to Chicago would have taken me through the south side of Chicago, and while I just would not have anywhere to stay for an extended period of time getting through the outskirts of Chicago, the range being like 40 miles or so of highly populated urban area, and I can't really bike more than that in a day. Like I'm shooting for 40 to 60 miles in a day, and the urban area outside of Chicago is much greater than that, and so I would have a very hard time finding a place to stay. Anyways, moving on. Yes, so we're going to Mackinac instead. A lot easier trying to find places to stay in the middle of nowhere, as it is basically backwoods Michigan most of the way there. I'm gonna do a rundown of the route a little bit later, but I'm going to do a rundown of this here bicycle right now. So currently the pedals are off it because we're going to switch from just regular pedals that you'd find on any normal bike to toe clips, so I don't have to worry about my feet coming off or disconnecting on the gravel paths that I'll be taking there. Also increase my efficiency, so with the added weight on the back, it should allow me to be a little less tired day in and day out. The bike itself is a Schwinn Traveler from the late 80s. It was my dad's bike originally. He bought it when he lived in Pontiac. But if you saw my December highlights video, you will have seen me putting on the rear rack for it and the pannier bags, which has increased the weight of the bike from about 30 pounds to about 40 pounds, just in and of that self. I want to thank all the new people for watching. Please like the video, share it with your friends if you really enjoyed it, and do consider subscribing. It really helps me out. It helps motivate me to make more videos and make good content. See that the hard work is paying off. With that all being said, I'm going to take you through a general overview of the route we're going to take up from Kalamazoo to the Straits of Mackinac. And
we are going to start from Bronson Park, or at least roughly speaking, Bronson Park in Kalamazoo. And we're going to head north. This is the Kalamazoo River Valley Trail here, and we're going to use that as one of the premier trails in the region. And we're pretty much just going to take country roads until we get to Douglas and Plainwell, and then it's kind of a straight shot till we get to after Wayland and straight north to Grand Rapids. Once we get into Grand Rapids, we'll be taking side roads and sidewalks and whatnot till we get to northeast GR here. This will be very pretty. I've never really been in and around Grand Rapids outside of a vehicle, so this will be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of good footage as well. And then once we get into northeast GR, we head on to a trail which will take us pretty much most of the way there, until Cadillac to be specific, at which point we have to hop onto old US 131. At a certain point that ends, and you get onto just regular US 131, which becomes a 2-lane road with a pretty wide shoulder. That should be good for cycling until we get to Gaylord, at which point we head on to the Michigan Central Trail, North Central Trail, which will take us all the way there, through Sheboygan, and to Mackinac City. Now, ideally, what I want to do is do about 40 to 50 miles a day. From Kalamazoo to Grand Rapids is about 48 miles. That's 50 miles. In rounding, anyways. So I could either do 40 miles and cut it short and stay just before Chicago, or if I'm feeling good and lucky and having a good time, I can push through Grand Rapids and stop near and around Rockford here. From there, we're on to the next day, which will be another 40-50 miles. This gets us probably to around the Big Rapids areas. And again, 40-50 miles gets us to around Cadillac, 40-50 miles Kalkaska area, 40-50 miles Gaylord area, 40-50 miles Indian River area, and then the final day Mackinac City. So ideally, this will be done over about 7 days. It's right before July 4th weekend, so we'll be in the Straits, as it were, for July 4th, which should be very exciting and eventful. And my family is planning to meet me up there for that weekend. So that'll be a really cool end to the trip.
So as you saw, the route is pretty much through the middle of nowhere most of the time on dedicated bike paths. So that would be good for safety and good for being able to stay somewhere at night, not being in an urban area for too long, not having to get into trouble with setting down a tent in the middle of a public park or whatever would have been required in order to make it through suburban and metro Chicago and Detroit. There will still be, of course, occasions where I am biking on the side of the road, but that has been mitigated to the least amount as possible, and also on good conditioned roads that have wide shoulders. Aside from all of that, I am really excited for this trip. I've been wanting to do this big old adventure for the summer 2021 for a while. I really enjoy biking. I really enjoy, going through places at a slower pace and seeing more of everything. I think it's going to be a grand old time, as some people might say. And yeah, the next couple videos in the series, not just in general, will be basically a little bit more of planning, putting together my pack and the gear I'm going to take with me, and then just training for actually going on the trip. I have never had a pannier bag on the back of my bike before, and I've never had additional weight to take with me, so I'm not at all accustomed to that. Aside from that, I haven't biked significant mileage in a while due to the fact that it's winter, so I'll have to be getting back into good condition to actually ride the bike that long, that hard, for that extended period of time. Look forward to those videos in this series. Look for other videos that I talked about earlier. Those will come out pretty soon here. If you enjoyed that video, smash that like button down below. And if you really loved it, consider subscribing. It really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.